Janaha sukritinor arto jidnyartsurtharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. Word to word Sinaman, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Chatur Vidyaha, 4 kinds of bhajante, render services, mam, unto me, janaha, persons, sukritinaha, those who are pious, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Artha, the distressed, Jidnyasu, the inquisitive, Arth, Arthi, one who desires material gain, Jnani, one who knows things as they are, Cha, also, Bharatarshabha, O one great one amongst the descendants of Bharat. 4 kinds of render services unto me, persons, those who are pious, O Arjuna, the distressed, the inquisitive, one who desires material gain, one who knows things as they are. Also, O great one amongst the descendants of Bharat. Translation. O best among the Bharatas, Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me. The distress, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of Absolute. Purport. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukrutina, or those who obey the rules and regulation of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are 4 classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange of devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu defines pure devotional thus: Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhya anavrutam anya kullena krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktim Uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these 4 kinds of person come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them, devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goal. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with pure devotees, also become pure devotees. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees and become in their distress devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of the God, and they come to the Supreme Lord's Lord to render the devotional service, and thus transcendent knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma, and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that remun- re- material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotee. As long as such purified stage is not attained, devotee, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tempted with fruitive activities and they search after mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. So my realization from these particular verses, these are four. God says that these four kinds of pious men: the distress, desire of wealth, who is inquisitive, and who is after the knowledge. So before that, because this is the continuation with the last three verses, so I will just quickly read those verses because it is related with these verses. So same chapter, verse number 13. Uh, the Lord says that, deluded by the three modes, that is goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am I above the modes inexhaustible. So here God is talking about, like, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and the Sudras. And the next verse, it says that God says, this divine energy of mine, consisting of three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who are surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So he's talking a lot, talking about here those who are surrendering, even surrendered to the God. So I can, they can cross beyond it. So Krishna advises them to surrender unto him. The chapter 15, those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheist nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So he's talking about the mudas, dushkrutas. So they don't surrender. So talking about those particularly those who are grossly foolish people, lowest among the mankind, and they are mostly they are atheist people. So these are the last three verses, and this in continuation with here, Lord says that the four kinds of people, those who are distressed, those who are inquisitive, those who are looking for the knowledge, they they can they can render devotional service unto me. So when I was actually reading Srila Prabhupada's book, I had some realization, and I got some reading on the last week's realization from our devotees. So I came across one particular realization of distress. So when the person is distressed, they either go to the Supreme God, they go to the different people, and uh, and they try to fulfill their desire. Mostly those, if you surrender to the God, your desire get fulfilled. There is one example Srila Prabhupada has given. uh, it's a old lecture. Is about Draupadi when she was disrobed Vastraharan in the assembly of Kauravas. What had happened? She counted upon first on her husbands. Then she relied upon on senior pious people like Dronacharya, Bhishmapita, and Vidur. But they also couldn't help her. So finally, Dushasana tried to pull her sari, and she was distressed, and she didn't know what to do it. So finally, she surrendered unto Krishna. She just took the name of Krishna, 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 and then what had happened? The Krishna, uh, protected her. So this is what when Krishna protect his devotees, and he's so fast. We know that Krishna is a lot faster than our mind. So no one can believe that Krishna, when he was not surrounded there or there, still he came in a fast, within a second, and he protected her. So there's the story behind it, why he protected her, because there was a little service, not like in a big service Draupadi had done to Krishna. When his hand got, I think, finger got, uh, I think finger got hurt when he was using the chakra, Sudarshan chakra, and Draupadi was there. She tore her sari, and she tore her sari and she tied, and the blood stops. So Krishna said, "Okay, so I will repay your debt." So that's what did happen. So this when you really surrender to the God, and when you give a little service to the Supreme God, He will never ever forget. So that's one. Then another one, the person who are inquisitive. So I got one good example for the person who is in inquisitive. Is I think our senior devotee might be knowing, and Amrish Prabhu always give this example about Dhruva Maharaj. So what had happened with Dhruva Maharaj, because he wanted to become a powerful man, but the story behind is that when he was a child, 5 years old, and he wanted to play on his father's lap, but his stepmother, Suchita, I think, yeah, um, Suruchi. So she denied that, no, you can't sit. He protected, and he said, why can't? Why not? So she said, no, this answer you'll get it from Narayana. So he was morose, and and then uh, he went to see his mother, uh, Suniti. And Suniti saw Dhruva is morose and upset. So she asked him what had happened. So he said that, I was denied to sit on my father's lap. So, and my stepmother said that, why? When I asked her why, then she said, this question will be answered by Narayana. And then she said, then he was very inquisitive and said, why? Who is Narayana? Who is God? So then she explained that if you really want to answer it, then you must pray to Lord Vishnu. And this 5 years boy, he ready, the next day he went to the jungle, and he started his journey towards jungle, and he went and he started praying the God. But Narad Muni, he knew that the boy is going there, and he saw that. He followed him, and he told him, no, you don't do, you're a 5 years old boy, who's going to protect you? There's a jungle, there's a lot of things is happening here, so you better don't uh, go here, don't do that one. He tried to do this one, but he said, no, you can't. I am very firm that, and I want to know, and I want to get the answer. I want to know this answer from the God. And then finally, Narad Muni, I think he gave in the mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and he was meditating upon it. But all the demigods and others, they were frightened. See, this 5 years child, he's praying and he's meditating upon Supreme Lord. So what's going to happen? So finally, Lord came in front of him, and his prayer was matured. The Lord was standing in front of him, and then he was astonished, taking an example of if we ordinary people, if you see that big star in front of you, suddenly you get oh my God. So so that way, and he's seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's unbelievable. He was speechless. So what to say, what to ask? So finally, God said, "You ask whatever you want," and then he said, "No, I just want your mercy." So that's the pure devotee. He would have asked, but finally, of course, later on, he ruled the kingdom for I think 60,000 years, and after that, he resided. Now, I think he's resided in Dhruva Tara. I think everybody will all know that Dhruva Tara is on pole, so he's residing there. So this is another example. This is another one, like, when we love Krishna, and when we and when Krishna reciprocates it. So there's now the Damodar month is going on. So we all know that when Yashoda Mata tried to, when Yashoda Mata tried to, sorry, something got disturbed. When Yashoda Mata was tying Lord Krishna on the morte, and then because he has done some notious thing, and which the Hasti you all knows now by now, hopefully. So she tried to tie Lord Krishna, and she got a lot of ropes, like in one, two, and she was surprised. How come? And only it is to short only 2 inches, and when it shot only 2 inches, then Mother Yashoda was like, she was tired, and she said, Krishna, please allow me to tie, because I want to I want to see that something is going in the kitchen, so I want to look after there, and you should not be doing some naughty things. So I want to tie you. So better allow me. So there is a, lovingly Krishna then finally allow Mother Yashoda to tie him. So the rest story, I think everybody knows about that. So yeah, so also there's one more thing is that everybody knows about the Sudama. I mean, how I mean, Lord knows about the devotee's mind. He read, Srila Prabhupada says, the you don't have to go to the church or mass or temple to ask for the bread, ask for the bread, butter, or whatever, for living things. The reason behind is because the God is within you. These rascal, those are atheists, they don't know. I mean, they just go for, and then ask, and they say, oh God, please forgive me. They do some bad things outside, and they say, oh God, please forgive me. So God is not going to forgive you, but God is already there within you inside, and he's watching like a camera. So you don't have to really go to the God. God knows what is your requirement. God knows what you are doing it, and accordingly he he look after you. So here, Sudama, his childhood friend, and he was he's a poor Brahman actually at that time, and when that time Lord Krishna was a king. So when um, Sudama's wife came to know that Lord is a king, so she told Sudama, "Hey, he's a now king now. We are so poor. We don't have any livelihood things. This we are living in the heart. We can't have proper food 3 times. How can we serve our kids?" Yeah. So see, he said, "Nah, he's a king. He's a lord. Now I can't go." So finally, he said, "Okay, I will go." So okay, like in our culture, anybody is going to uh, our friend's home or relatives' home, we always take some sweets. And this is our culture. So he said to wife, what? I mean, I'm going to him, so I should give him something. We don't have anything. So there was some handful rice. So wife gave him some handful rice, and he tied it rope, and then he went. When he went to see Krishna, you won't believe Krishna. When Krishna came to know that Sudama is standing and he wanted to see you, his torn clothes, and he's he doesn't look like he's Krishna's friend, but he's claiming that he's friend. And Krishna asked, what is his name? He said, Sudama. Krishna ran, and he went out. He brought him inside. He washed his feet, and he glorified him. So this is Lord. Lord himself is glorifying his devotee, his friend. So and then they were chatting their childhood. Then they spent a lot of time chit chatting, and finally then she was about to leave, and then I said, no, you cannot leave today. So you just have dinner here. And then you don't go. So Krishna is telling. So he said, okay, that's fine. So finally, he spent one night over there, and the next day he left. But when halfway, when he realized that even Krishna didn't ask him why he came, even I didn't ask him, because we were that's what happened when friend comes together. So they really forget what to ask, what to not ask. So he didn't ask anything, and so he left it, and then said, "Oh, sure, that my wife is going to ask me, what did you ask?" So he said, okay, that's fine. So he walked away, he went, and looked at it when he went to near his home, and he said, "Oh, there's no hut. What happened? Somebody must have vanished it, or somebody must have destroyed it. I don't know what's happened." Then by the time he went to that particular place, I mean that that's a palace actually, and then somebody said, "Okay, now you come in." I said, "Oh, where I'm coming?" So then he went inside the home and saw his wife Lakshmi. I mean, she welcomed him, and then he saw this opulence. That's what God look after. So that's the one. If you surrender, eh, and if you are pure devotee of the God, He never ever let you down. And also, like we were discussing last week, and then before 1 week before also, this continuously for 3-4 lectures, and I was listening, and then Amrish Prabhu was telling very nice. I mean, it's about how to, like, how to chant, and that chanting should be, and I know that Amrish Prabhu always used to tell me, if you really want to progress in your devotional service, you must chant, you must chant, you must chant always. And whenever I see him personally, whenever in the group, always his emphasis was on the chant. And I used to think, okay, what is that most important that in chanting, so that I can really revive my relation. I was not aware, but that was of course 4-5 years before. And then that time I used to chant like in a couple of rounds, because I have like friends, watch TV, go to the friends, go outing and this, and still I say, oh shit, I have done like 4 rounds. So something gone wrong, Prabhuji?
Your camera, just turn your camera on. Yes, it's okay now. It's all good.
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah, so I was talking about chanting. And then finally, of course, I was really not taking it seriously. I mean, I was taking about 2 rounds. Oh my God, 2 rounds is too much for me. And yes, I was happy. Okay, I'm taking 2 rounds. Wow, fantastic. But then then I came to realize that when Ambrish Prabhu is telling something, okay, let's try. And then when I started about my 16 rounds, and what Ambrish Prabhu said, that came to really truth. But of course, this came from Srila Prabhupada, from our Guru Maharaj, and from him to me. And it's really when you really sincerely chant for 16 rounds daily and read Bhagavad Gita, uh, be in association with the devotees, read Bhāgavatam, and then you really revive your eternal relation with the Supreme God. And that's really a big realization for me. And also like another realization is that 4 years before, I think around 4-5 years before, Amrish Prabhu again, he normally anything good thing comes, he forwards amongst us. And that there was an email saying that the 12 names of Lord Nityananda. So once you recite that, you can develop, you can upgrade yourself, or maybe you can get more interest in in spiritual life. I was thinking, okay, one day I read it. I said, okay, that's fine. What's going to happen? I mean, let's see. But honestly, I never read through those or gone through those. But after that, after 2 years, one of our devotee, Shital Prabhu, he gave his realization and saying that because of this reciting, he was reciting every day those 12 names, and he got a benefit, spiritual benefit, of course. And I, because I seen him, I know him, how he, I know him for last 7 years since I joined, and he was okay. I mean, he was good, and then suddenly, he was really giving a good realization, talking about. And then I said, okay, this is the effect of those 12 names. I started researching that, and this could be that effect. And that's all credit goes to Ambrish Prabhu. And thank you, Ambrish Prabhu, for guiding us. That is the, again, Srila Prabhupada says in verse that if you are, whoever it may be, if you are in associating with the devotees, you will get to know that pure devotion from the devotees, pure devotees. And that's what I'm experiencing here. So bhakti, bhakti means love. That's what Amrish Prabhu always used to tell us, bhakti means love. So how you get that love? So you chant. When you chant, your relation will be revived, and that eternally when it is revived, you will have automatically interest in spiritual. And when you are progressing slowly in spiritual, you will have no problem in materially as well. So that's that's what I realized that one. And even when I'm doing it sincerely, those 16 rounds and reading and these, even at this stage, I do not watch TV, and my kids, they surprise, they know that I don't watch nowadays. Totally, I stopped TV, but still now I don't get any time to go watching TV or seeing my friends. So what Srila Prabhupada is doing here for devotees, he's keeping us 24/7 engaged. Actually, he's keeping us everyone engaged, and that's what when we get up early in the morning. Mangalarti, chanting, go to the work, come back, cook, then Arti. Where do you get the time? I was just yesterday there was a program in one of my friend's home, and Namrata Mataji was telling her realization that when she was before coming to the Namahata program, she said she was getting bored. And what happened now? Now she said, I don't get any time to look after time to see this material things. She's so busy. So that's what I told you. That's all the devotees are 24/7 busy. And that this is also when sometimes I used to think, Amrish Prabhu used to tell, all devotees to tell, oh, we are very busy, very busy. So I used to think, how come this, they, especially I was thinking about Amrish Prabhu, how come he's so busy? Now I realize that I'm just giving one realization, and you won't believe, since last Wednesday till now, I was continuously doing that, reading and thinking, reading and thinking, talking to devotees, talking to Amrish Prabhu. That's only one chapter one. So Amrish Prabhu is giving continuously. So I can see that what realize he's giving and telling us. So that's a really big thing for me to be in this Namahata group. Um, Also, when there's also one more realization from again Avinash Prabhu and Sheetal Prabhu, when they say about you do what you do your service best, and don't expect any result from don't expect anything return from anything. So I said, okay, that could be the message for me. Like Sheetal Prabhu said that, when you are giving your realization, that could be his experience. You shouldn't be worried about other people, whether they are criticizing you, whether they are pointing at you or anything. Why? That's a real good realization, understanding for me. He said that's because we are not glorifying anyone. We are glorifying our God. And that really strike me. And then that boosts my confidence rather. And I said, okay, oh, that's the thing. And then so the last 4 5 days I was continuously reading and concentrating. And plus, apart from that, I was doing my regular work, chanting, puja and everything. So yeah, that's the thing. So when Srila Prabhupada talk about the distress, there is one, I think Amrish Prabhu sent one message on WhatsApp. So I think that could be the related to this particular verse that Srila Prabhupada says that animals and unintelligence men are called Vimuda, and those got little bit education, they is called Vidwan. So those nanis, when they want to approach the gods, what they ask first, Sanatana Goswami, when he submitted the lotus feet to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his first question was to what is my constitutional position? That's the nanis one. But we all we all karmis, we never see that. So we have to really think that we are not this body, and we are spirit soul. If one can understand that, so there won't be any difficulties for understanding anything. So yeah, further, um, when Srila Prabhupada said about those four people, and now there's four classes of men who don't come to the God. Those who are, those four people, they are the pious people. They go to the God because they have got something, their aspiration, they need something, so they go to the God. But those who are not going, they are all foolish people. They are atheist people. So so that's so this foolish, because their knowledge is taken away by the illusionary things. So that has been mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 63 and 64. So I'll just quickly read the translation to understand what Srila Prabhupada wants to say here. So that's in, I'll just read the verse. Sorry, क्रोधात् भवति समोह समोहन स्मृति निभ्रम स्मृति भ्रशाद बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. So here Srila Prabhupada wants to tell that those mudhas, like, those who are not in spiritual, and those don't want to learn and don't want to come to the Krishna consciousness, what's going to happen? Because they're gonna, they are not, they don't want to use their intelligence, because no one is by birth, no one is intelligent. But if they try, if, like, if someone tries to, like, make like, progress, they can. But if nobody wants to do it, if those unintelligent people, if they don't want to progress, so they will, like, then they will be in chakras, like, birth and death, birth and death. So that's what Srila Prabhupada says about that. And also in chapter 64, I'll just raga dvesha vibhuktestu vishayana indriyash charana atmakam atma vaishe videyatma prasadam adhigachati. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulatory principles of freedom can obtain a complete mercy of the Lord. So here, Lord is telling, he's advising that if you attach to your fruitive activities, then you will be in that chakra. But if you don't attach, if you attach to Krishna, like Srila Prabhupada says, if you attach to the Krishna, so automatically you will get, like, your intelligence will slowly improve, and you will come to the Krishna consciousness. So out of, then again, those philosophical people, those who are trying to understand the nature of the God, and some people trying to understand what is the nature of God. And the Krishna says that why? Because one has to know other business than to understand what is God. So one should really focus on what is God. So I'll quickly read that again. It's Srila Prabhupada has given a reference for from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 7. One who restrains, karmendriyani sanyamya yaste manasa smarana indriyarthan mi mudhatma mithyachara sa uchyate. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on senses, object, certainly deludes himself and is called pretender. So those are, like, some people, they want to pretend, okay, I'm in, like, I'm in Krishna consciousness, I'm in this, but they those who are not following the regular principle, they are just pretending, but they should not be pretending. So further it says that in same chapter 3, verse 9, yathartha karmonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadhartha karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Work done as sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So this is the we have to surrender ourselves. I mean, we should remember Vishnu. We should not be waiting for your benefit. You just leave everything to the Lord, and He takes care of everything. So then there's another Srila Prabhupada given an example about the distress people. They when they go to the I already told that, I mentioned that one, I think. Yeah, there's okay, glorify this. Krishna, I mean, a person in Krishna consciousness, he does not care for all this material distress, insult, honor, or designation or anything, because he knows he just wants to glorify the Krishna, nothing else. His aim is only to glorify, nothing else. Srila Prabhupada says that when we are chanting, especially the pure devotees, when they chant, they do not think about the material benefit. So their chanting is only to purify the God, not for getting any material benefit or anything. So that's the pure devotee. Yep. So there's also actually in Srimad Bhāgavatam, with reference to this four kinds of people. There was one reference Srila Prabhupada has given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Verse 11. The translation: in this material world, the conditional soul is always inclined to sex, meat eating, intoxication. Therefore, religion, scriptures never actually encourage such activities, although the scriptures injunctions provide for sex through sacred marriage and most eating through sacrificial offerings, and for intoxication through the acceptance of virtual cups of wine. Such ceremonies are meant for the ultimate purpose of renunciation. So the pure devotee, he so in order to advance in the spiritual life, we have to voluntarily decrease these demands of the body. So if you decrease those demands of the body, automatically you will come towards the Krishna consciousness. Uh, Srila Prabhupada says that especially in Vrindavana, there's Goswamis, they conquered over their sleeping, they conquered over their eating, they conquered even their sex life. So they are the real pure devotees of the Lord. So when really you want to progress in your in a spiritual life, one should try to follow our masters, our Guru, and whatever the message is coming from Srila Prabhupada, we must follow that. Also, when Srila Prabhupada talk about this distressed people, and there should be a sanction of the God. This he has given us very nice. Srila Prabhupada has given very nice example. Like when the deceased person, when when somebody is really sick, he goes to the doctor and get the best medicine. If you have money, you get to the best medicine. And but Srila Prabhupada says that uh, this medicine countering agent, these are the because it's not um, uh, actually they are not the counteracting agents. When they are suffering and when they are getting the best doctor or best medicine, so it is not that medicine he dies, because even after getting that medicine or a doctor, he still dies. So Srila Prabhupada says there is no sanction of the Supreme Lord, that's why he died. Also there is one good example, Michael Jackson. Everybody, I think he's a big pop star, everybody knows that. He was a regular rich person. What he's trying to show others, I'm a big man, I'm a super rich, and he wanted to live for may not be thinking forever, but at least he was trying to live for like 100 years or more than 100. He changed his color with the medicine and everything, and then he wanted to live for a long period. So what had happened? He was like, looking. There was almost 24/7. The doctors were looking after him, but he still died because there was no sanction. Also, there's one good example Srila was given about the Titanic ship. It drowned. That ship was looked after by brainy people, like good scientists, good engineers. But what had happened? It drowned. So, so the pure devotion, then again, so when Srila Prabhupada says that when pure devotion is without any desire of material benefit, it has got no value. So the Shastra is recommended that even if you have some material desire, it's in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada says that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, verse 3, chapter 10. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udarathi tivrena bhakti yogena yejeta purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full material desire without any material, or any material desire or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the supreme whole, the personality of Godhead. Here, Srila Prabhupada wants to say that pure devotee does not demand anything. So, for like Srila Prabhupada says that, like even in Vrindavana, so who is the pure devotee in Vrindavana? Those cowherd boys and gopis and the cowherd boys. They are the best example of um, pure devotees. So, without pavitra, without being pure, without being pious, without being contamination, without being material activities, nobody can approach Krishna. That this is the message we are getting from this verse. In fact, Krishna is so kind that he orders that even if you have some desire, material desire, still you can take shelter upon him, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 65 and 66. I'll read for 65. मनमना भव भक्त मनमना भव मद्भक्तो मद्धाजी मा नमस्कुरु मामे मामे वैशसी सत्यम सत्यम te pratijane priyosis me. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. So I mean, this is the God, Supreme God, he telling himself to Arjuna. So what more we want? Also in next verse, chapter 66, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mameka Sharanam Raja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Yimyami Ma Sucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So that's a assurance God giving to Arjuna. So this is my realization, but I got some few my personal realization. If I can continue for more another 5 minutes, Prabhuji, is it okay? Yeah. So like yesterday, while I was reading, and there was one message came on Facebook. We for our bodily, for bodily, encouragement, or maybe uh, we should not get disease. So we follow doctors take medicine and follow some vitamins A, B, C, D, E, F. So someone has really nice forwarded on Facebook, which says AS is Association of Devotees, which I'm really experiencing, and what I'm here today is this all all credit goes to my dear devotees and Amrish Prabhu. Then books reading. So that when we talk about B, vitamin B, books reading. So that book reading comes from again the Association of Devotees, because when they give their realization from particular verse, particular book, and then you feel like, no, I must read that one. That one must be really inquisitive to see that. So I was inquisitive to know what is happening, so I, like, not 100% I'm doing, but I'm trying my level best to, like, come back and read those and recite those, like, particular verses. Chant Mahasi. Vitamin C is a chant Mahamantra, which this I'm again benefiting from that chanting, like mentally, like, and I'm thinking, like, never, like, I even still now today I'm thinking, like, we say in Bhagavad Gita, it's Srila Prabhupada says that we must treat everyone equally, but that never used to happen. But once you chant, and that the Swarup, well, like, Amrish Prabhu mentioned that one, like, if you really want to attach to and, like, have that Swarup, and if you really want to, like, eternally attach to the eternal spirit, then you must chant, and that chanting will revive you, and that's what I'm getting experience chanting. The fourth vitamin is devotional service. So one must really engage to devotional service, like, listening kirtan, like, bhajan, then puja, distribution books, chanting. Those all comes in the devotional service. Eating Krishna Prasad. That's, like, that Krishna Prasad actually really attracts me. I still remember when I came from India in 2001. So we only used to go to the temple for eating prasadam, and then from there was no other aim but just to eat prasadam, sweet, and then it was really nice prasad. Even now also we get a very nice prasad. So go there exactly go in the lunchtime. Even I never used to go and attend the lectures. Those who used to give the lectures, I hardly used to look. I used to go to 2:30, go just 10-15 minutes before line, and that prasadam gives me really attraction. And then, of course, then later on I listened to Amrish Prabhu, and then devotees, and then I came to the Krishna consciousness. And then fasting on Ekadashi. The one must, what says that one must fast twice in a month, which I think most of the devotees are fasting. So these are, like, Krishna's medicine, which hope, I mean, I'm going to follow that one. So I just, with the quick end of the note, I mean, my realization, I just want to read one prayer, which I think all our devotees, they do every day, and evening prayer. This is Narottama Das Thakura's prayer. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Vando Vi Savdhana Mate Yahare Prasade Bhai Ye Bho Tariye Yayi Krishna Prapti Hai Jahan Hai Te. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, we can cross the ocean of material sufferings and attain the mercy of Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, this is my relation. And if anybody wants to add into this, so they are feel free to add or ask any related question to this verse. I will try my level best to answer with my limited knowledge. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for listening.
Hare Krishna, Sopan Prabhu. A very nice personal realization class.
Thank
All
you.
glories, all glories goes to Srila Prabhupada. He's our founder.
Yes,
Without
all
him,
good.
we would be nowhere. So all
Thank
glories.
you. Thank you for giving me opportunity.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Dhanavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Can I ask you something, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. I will try.
Yeah. Prabhu, how to, elaborate, when the things, even the devotees, I'm talking not about the loopholes or anything, but I'll just want to ask you something, even the devotees also sometimes, taking granted of the spiritualistic thing, and they try to make those things in favor of their own materialistic desire, for their own fame, for their own desire, to be established themselves into the society, and when it comes to an aged devotees, senior devotees, so they used to try to be make their things. Now, I mean, how I can elaborate, nowadays WhatsApp is the biggest mass media. apart from the Outlook or anything, they becomes the right now biggest mass media. And some of the people, I will not consider, I'm not showing that whether they are devotee or not, but I'll still say that, they are taking this mass media as such a more granted. They try to prove their leadership in such a way. They make the Kartik festival group, they make this group, they make this group, and then after that they make, this association group, this association group, and that association group. Why is it so? When Srila Prabhupada made one ISKCON, one entire ISKCON family, and why people are more and more, engross themselves still into the materialistic desire, particularly, they are using their things, just in the WhatsApp or everything, just to it's a kind of a leadership, that's two things. Like I saw, in the WhatsApp in the morning, I don't know, uh, where we hear that somewhere in the some place, it says that devotee is having a very less time to having the materialistic mundane things to be go there, everything. And here the bookings are going on. Today there is the program, today there is the program, today there is the program, today there is the program. Is it a kind of things where okay, any more bookings, bookings for the Kartik program, for the this program, just like a restaurant menu card is going on. Why like that? After being entangled in ISKCON, for the last over and 40 decades, still people having that much of materialistic desire. I'm not, and they doesn't have that much of, etiquettes also. Prabhuji, can I add you in this group? Can I ask you, can you add you, can I get your number so that we can add you in your WhatsApp group or all this thing? This is the major issue, in the name of the Kartik, in the name of the, you can say, book distribution, or in the name of the some things, people like to always, try to make their face. They want to be, like, you can say now there is a big time going on in the show business, pay per view. So pay per view is also coming here itself. You're getting my point. Why like that, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, see, what Srila Prabhupada says, like, we should understand our position first, one thing. And whatever they are doing it, we don't know whether they are really doing the materialistic or spiritually. But, when we should only understand one point is that by way of that, at least they are distributing the Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, because we don't know what is their motive unless they tell you or they tell us. But that is all our observation. So that, but we must see in other angle that, okay, that could be because there's a festival going on here, a lot of people coming, those who are like materialist people, they come and they see, okay, this activity is going on here, it's very good. So what is that activities? Even Prabhupada says, out of 100, even one person also listen to Krishna, so he's elevated. So why Srila Prabhupada say that? So, we have to think in that angle.
Yes, I agree with you, Prabhu. But sometimes what happen, how can I can say, bhakti ke naam pe, matlab, aad leke Prabhu, then they want to be try to preach their own way, own point of views, that is also happen, right now these days there are a lot of things happened, so this is what, new, what I find out is, okay, we know that we have to do Kartik, we know we have, Prabhupada had said, but then, just like a menu card. Today, is there any booking? Today, is there any booking, sir? Oh, where is the booking, sir? Are you free for today? This is like a kind of a, publicity agent, or like a business going on. Kartik is not meant for like that, Prabhuji, like
Best,
that.
best way to avoid all these things, if you engage yourself in devotional service, you chant, you do reading the Bhagavad Gita, Bhāgavatam, and do devotional service. And I think you won't have, like, so we all devotees, what you're telling is, I know, you and all our devotees knows about it. So what you best can do? Yes, you can just engage yourself, and then you do, like, most, like, you use your, like, most time, like, to your devotional service. That's what, like, when we all are distressed, like, but we should not get distressed by somebody else's services. What we should, what we should do, okay, we follow what Srila Prabhupada has given the path. We should follow that path, and that path is going towards, like, eternal. So we should follow that one. We should. I mean, that's what my opinion. I may be wrong, or anybody wants to highlight on this point. They are free to advise Prabhuji.
It's okay, Prabhu. Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks. Hare Krishna.
Nice, Eva. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Abhiram Prabhu, very nice. Your questions are always very poignant questions,
Yeah. Thanks very much, Prabhu. All your blessings, Prabhu. All your blessings. Without that, it's not possible. You're one of us, who always aspire us, inspiring us, I mean, and first of all, a heartily congratulations to once again to Amrish Prabhu and his team for the food relief. What they are doing in the COVID. These are the programs, Prabhu, what I want to say are always has to be give more and more encouragement, where people can elevate into the Krishna consciousness. These are the programs is really good, Prabhu. I mean, I'll say सुख में एक पिक्चर था दिलीप कुमार का जहां बोलते सुख में सब आएंगे दुख में कोई ना तेरा, whereas Amrish Prabhu is the one who is taking the care of all the people who had lost their jobs or who are still hunger for their foods in the COVID, whereas Prabhu had taken. So first of all, I mean, great thanks once again to Amrish Prabhu and his entire team. Thanks very much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Prabhuji. Ultimately, Srila Prabhupada's books and Srila Prabhupada's, we are all trying to be hands and legs of Srila Prabhupada, to the best of our ability. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, very nice. Now we come to our second part of the program, which is the beginner's program, and we'll continue with our discussion on the Bhagavad Gita, on the concepts of Bhagavad Gita. If you all big stalwarts, my younger devotees, new devotees, if you remember where we stopped, it's a challenge. Because I remember where we stopped. Let me see, because you are all my masters, So masters generally don't care. They go, wow, and the servant has to remember where it is, how it is, what it is, So I'm a servant. Let us see, if you are a perfect master, then you will not remember. If you're a perfect master. If you're not perfect master, if you're a servant master, then you'll remember. If I'm a perfect servant, then I'll remember. If I'm a servant master, then I'll not remember. Did I confuse you enough? Congratulations. Now let's chant Hare Krishna. Krishnadas will sing now. Krishnadas, please chant Hare Krishna.